Once again. Just let it all kick in. Internet. Cool. There we go. Right. Sweet. We're back. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to. Don't know what I'm doing actually. Gonna make that big. I promise. This is my first. I am just going to make that a bit bigger. So at some point I'm going to get this plastered, and when I get this plastered, I'm going to have this painted back in. I actually think I can change the. I think I can change the background actually, if I remember rightly. Can't remember how to do it. Good evening, everybody. I can see you just clicking away over there, so I'm just going to let people just jump on, and then we'll get started. No idea what we're going to talk about today. Been various things happening this week, so more than happy to jump in on those and talk about my week. But yeah, really no plans, to be honest. Unplanned, unprepared, unscripted, or literally anything can happen. So I'm just having a quick look. Sorry, I'm actually having a fiddle today with the different settings that I've got on Facebook Live and things that I can do. So I'm just having a quick look at that. So, right, good evening. How is everyone today? How are you guys doing? You all right? I'll see you popping up in the comments. So yeah, how is everyone this evening? I was gonna wait for it to jump up just a little bit more. Nearly there. Nearly at my core 20, which I love. And I'm gonna tell you how dedicated I am, how absolutely dedicated I am to you guys, because I've done something tonight that means I don't have to move around, which I think is really special. Although I can hear the dog kicking off, so I might have to go and sort the dog out. But no, I have done something this evening that I will show you in a second. Good evening, Louise. Hello, David, Elaine, Teresa, Laurie. Hello, Glenn. Okay. Is everyone okay this evening? I'm just asking the question. Oh, sorry. God, there's loads of bloody computer. It's not scrolled. Hello, Rachel, Maurice, Laurie. It's too hot. Don't be silly, Laurie. There's no such thing as too hot. It's too hot. It's always the crazy thing about the UK, isn't it? About England. You get a little bit of nice weather, and everyone's like, it's too hot. Can't cope. It's not too hot. Definitely not. I know that much because I haven't even been in the pool. So it's definitely not too hot if I haven't been in the pool. Have you had a week, Joe? A good week, yeah, Louise. I have had a pretty decent week. Kirsty, how Joe you look like? Do you know what, Kirsty? You're absolutely right. I have lost weight. I have been running like a machine. Now I've been running pretty much every single day when I get back from work. I've been getting back about 5:30, running for a good hour. So it's anywhere between 5 and 6 miles. I think earlier this week I did just under 8 miles in one sitting. I've lost 7 kilos. 7 kilos. I'm wasting away. So I'm just drinking it back on basically. But yeah, I'm absolutely determined to get myself down to, I think I'm going to head to about 87 kilos, which is probably the lightest I've been since I was a teenager. But my plan is to get down to 90 kilos. And then when I'm at 90 kilos, I'm going to head back into the gym and start building up again some of the muscle mass. And I'll probably get down to as low as 87 and it'll creep back up. And I reckon I'll balance out somewhere around 92. 92, I think, is kind of a comfortable place. Anywhere between 90 and 92, I'm happy with, as long as there's a good amount of muscle mass to fat percentage. So that's the target over the coming weeks and coming months. But good evening anyway, Kirsty. So yeah, thank you for noticing. Or am I just looking gaunt? I don't know. So in case it goes to all our stuff. Oh, cool, Diane. Oh, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Back for a run, just back from a run and sweating as much as you do. Yeah, Simon, do you know what? I absolutely, one of my friends, Simon, he's not on Facebook, so he won't watch us. He doesn't watch anything that I do. Like, oh, he sees bits, but one of my good friends, he always says to me that I sweat loads when I exercise, and I always have done. So, okay, cool. Right, let's have a quick flick through. When are we doing a live? I don't know. I love the winter too, Laurie. I love skiing. I do like the winter months, but I do love the summer. I love being able to walk around with a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, or a pair of flip-flops, pair of jandals. Love to chuck on a pair of jandals and just off I go. So yeah. We can have a pool party, yeah. Do you know what, Elaine? Absolutely. Before I say this, we'll just check where you live. Because I say these things like, yeah, come over, have a pool party. And my assumption is people live miles away, they won't. I'm going to start doing it, people will be around the corner, and that'll be it. 6 miles, can assure you, doing interval training at present. Cool, fair play, Simon. Yeah, I'm just doing straight up running at the moment. I'm literally doing 5-6 miles, anywhere generally between 5 and 6 miles. And I'm just doing it pretty much at a consistent speed, staying at a good percentage of my maximum heart rate and just kind of burning fat, so I'm not really doing too much interval training. Once I've got a load of weight off, then I'll start doing some more, I guess some more specific things. I didn't want to get back into the gym now because I just felt it was just a bit too heavy to be in the gym lifting weights. I wanted to get some weight off first. Yeah, the governor's burgers, as Teresa's talking about, that's one of the reasons why it's hard to lose weight. Although I'm digging the veggie burgers at the prison. The veggie burgers are lovely. I'm not a really big vegetarian person in terms of, I would traditionally go for a meat or fish dish over a vegetarian option, but I really like the veggie burgers. The spicy bean burgers that Zoe's got in the restaurant are really good. So let's have a quick look. People asking questions about masks, jandals. Thank you, Kirsty. Okay, so let's pick up. Right, let's pick up what I have done something for you guys this week, which I think is super special. So this evening I'm drinking spiced rum and coke. It's bloody lovely. But I realised the last couple of weeks I've actually had I've drunk and I've had to disappear to get a refill. So this week I've brought the rum with me and the coke with me. So when I run out of alcohol or run out of a drink, I don't have to go anywhere. I can just top it up here, which means I've thought of you guys ahead of time, so I don't have to leave the Joy and Joel, which I think is quite exciting. Is that my bloody sister? Jesus, my sister's arrived. So my sister's there, Naomi Campbell. She has popped in. I don't think I've seen her on here before, so I don't know if that means I have to watch what I say or I don't have to watch what I say. I'm not sure. Laurie, jandals. Jandals are flip-flops. It is I think it's an Australian term. I certainly picked it up when I was in Australia. God, nearly 20 years ago. I bet that makes you feel old, Naomi, the fact that I was in Australia 20 years ago. My sister's the other side of 40, so she's the other side of that. But yeah, jandals is basically flip-flops. So yeah, jandals. Right, what do you guys want to chat about? I'm actually in quite a good mood today. It's been a funny old week. It's really hitting this week not having Chrissy. I think that's really kind of everyone's kind of felt that. So that's sorry, my sister's just sending me comments. This is where I'm going to start getting texts and messages through my phone. It's going to really throw me off. So it's been a funny week because we've really established Chrissy going. I've been working a huge amount on sales funnels and marketing. So very much about kind of people through the door. I think we're not there, but we do a really good job of the experience when you're in the jail. So those of you that have been, I know there's a number of you that have been and done various tours and visited sometimes only once, but sometimes a few times. And Teresa's been loads. I was chatting to her earlier this week. I've got some great photos with her. I know that a number of you have been on different tours. The experience you get when you come through the doors, which is what we refer to as the customer experience, and is delivered by the operational team. So that's Lauren's team at Shrewsbury, it's Charlie's team at Shepton. They're amazing. They are 5-star attractions, and that's what we deliver day in, day out. And that's great. So, and then the central team, the marketing team, very much concentrate on getting the people through the door. So I've been spending a lot of time with them, and a lot of time in there with the Facebook advertising, the social media ads, and basically building different funnels to effectively, so people see us and they take that journey to buying a ticket and then coming to see us. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that. So that's been a lot of my week. I'm doing a lot of funding applications at the moment for different bits and pieces that are there. I had an amazing conversation yesterday with a guy called Mike, the Bemused backpacker, who basically goes around the world, funny enough, and has an amazing blog where he talks about all the travelling that he's doing and different things and such like that. And he's got a great following of people that really engaged with the content. So he came on one of the tours yesterday. He was asked to, I think, come and do a number of different tours by Visit Shropshire. So he came to do us because obviously we're one of the best tours. And I spoke to him about social media for about an hour, and I filmed it. It was about 50 minutes long, us filming, and it was just really interesting to speak to somebody about social media that has a slightly, or does have a different take on it from me. It has a different take on it from me, but just really interesting to sort of do. So it was a really good conversation to sort of have. So I'll call my sister's gone. Right, so now we can. So that was cool. Still working towards the prison purchase. We're still going down that road. Just leave it with me. So that's still going on. Obviously, the big news this week about masks. So I saw a couple of people asking that. I can see a couple there. Just need to know, mate, if we need to wear masks to visit the prison. I know it's compulsory from the Saturday. Yes, it is compulsory from the Saturday. It will be required when you visit the prisons, either jail, that you wear a mask. Certainly through guided tours, you will absolutely have to wear it. Self-guided, we will want you to put them on to come into the attraction. We will be asking people to do it, and we will be basically saying if you don't wear a mask coming through the reception, then we can't admit you entry. That is the government guideline. It is that simple. There is a debate about how much we enforce in terms of how far we go with it. We're not going to call the police on anyone, fining, issuing like that. We're not going to get into arguments with anyone. We're just going to ask people to be sensible and be respectful of each other. And hopefully that will be absolutely fine. I think if people decide to take their masks off or pull them down in the attraction, then if there's a member of staff around, they may well say, and they probably will say, can you please put your mask back on? Again, it's something that we're asked to do, not necessarily the route that we would take if we had the choice. Guided tours, absolutely, the tour guide will be instructing you to put them back on. In the restaurant, however, you don't have to wear the masks when you're sat down, obviously eating and drinking in the restaurant. There's no requirement to be wearing the masks at the moment. And to be honest, I don't know how that would work in a restaurant either. And it's a little bit conflicting as well, because if you're unable to wear a mask due to health reasons, if you're under 11, any of those reasons, that's absolutely fine. It's not a problem. We're very much taking this as what the government have asked us to do, and that's how we're doing this. We're not going to be difficult about it. We're not going to be obtuse about it. We want people to enjoy coming to the attraction. So we're not going to be over the top on that or dictatorial or draconian or anything like that. I'm just trying to use big words to make it sound like I'm intelligent. So that's it. And it's a funny one because a lot of it has been said that it's to protect staff, which is kind of crazy because our team are actually behind perspex barriers anyway, so there's very little risk to them whatsoever. So I don't know, we'll sort of see. I think the introduction of masks, I understand the science behind it, but it is going to have a negative impact on people's confidence, because getting people out now is all about confidence in going and doing things. And I think confidence was very much growing. Having masks obviously come in for things like shops, I think that's something that people will... You'll wear a mask when you go to a supermarket, because you have to buy food, so you kind of put up with it for that. But if you have to wear a mask if you're told to wear a mask when you do leisure activities, then a lot of people will just choose not to do the leisure activities. So whilst I appreciate the science in there is a balance between the commercial, how that's going to affect commercially, and I think that we are going to see our numbers come down a little bit, which is a shame. But we will see. We'll see what happens. But I think our numbers will probably drop a little. I love it when you guys have conversations in here, and I can just see things going around and people just having conversations, and I miss the beginning of it. so I have to scroll back up to see what's going on there. Um, I have no idea. Laura, you've not missed anything, Laura. I'm just waffling on. I think the highlight is that I've got a bottle of rum and some Coke with me, so I don't have to move. That's kind of the highlight so far. So yeah, we can wear visors, but actually we've got some really cool masks. If you haven't seen them, I've got one here somewhere. You all right, mate? What's up? I assume so. Yeah. Yeah. Have you tidied your room and everything? Cool. It's off. I've got I've got a couple of masks here. So if you haven't seen the masks so far, this was actually one that was made for me by the guys at Harlequin Costumes, which is really cool because it's a prism stripe, so that's quite cool. So I'm really grateful for those guys. But these are really nice. So these are Shrewsbury Prism masks, and we've got exactly the same as Shepton. This is obviously the logo of Shepton Mallet Prism. I'm doing a sales pitch. They're really cool. They've got a soft piece of metal in the middle, so you can basically bend them to shape your nose, which is really good. And I'm told it's really good for people that wear glasses because you can bend it into your nose, and therefore it doesn't fog up your glasses. So they're really cool. But and they've got really nice little toggles on the ends, so you can tighten and loosen appropriately. But yeah, they are pretty sweet, I must admit, because I've not really been wearing them that much, because I just don't go places particularly that I have to wear them. So they are pretty swish, I must admit. I was quite impressed when they arrived. Lisa had sourced them, so she's done a great job of that. There's the logo. We were going to get like prison life and stuff right across the middle, but we thought it was probably too much. So yeah, we've got these at the prison. Those are £5. So you can get Shrewsbury ones or Shepton Mallet ones, obviously depending on the prison you go to. We also have disposable ones for like I think £1 or £1.50. So we've got the other ones as well. So yeah, so they're really cool. So that's obviously from Saturday. Was there anything else I was specifically going to talk about? I know people are asking about lives. Oh, I know when we're going live. We're going to do 2 lives in one night. And Teresa knows about this. She had an exclusive. I think she had an exclusive. Was it? Did she have an exclusive? No, it wasn't Teresa. Sorry, Teresa. It was. Who was I chatting to earlier? James and Laura came into the prison. So who run the Most Haunted fan page. So they came in earlier this week. And they had an exclusive about it. So we don't do kids masks. I'm afraid at the moment they're not that easy to get hold of. So we are going to do a live on the 19th of September. I think I mentioned this last week. I'll just double check my dates. I think it's the 19th of September. It's a Saturday. Yeah, 19th of September. We're going to do a night behind bars. So you can come and sleep at the prison. We already do them at Shepton, but we're going to do one at Shrewsbury. Lauren's going to put it on. It's a great event. It's 12 hours long. You turn up at 8 o'clock. You arrive at 8, and then between 8 and 10 you're basically getting yourself like settled in your cell. You can wander around the jail and find out you can wander around jail and basically acclimatise to it, if you will, or kind of find your bearings, chat to the staff. The restaurant's open for food and drink. And then at 10 o'clock you go on the 2-hour guided tour. So our standard heritage tour that we run during the days. However, because it's an 18 plus event, and because it's at night, and because it's dark and stuff like that, the tour guides do go a little bit further than they do during the day. So they do talk more about the darker side, things that happen kind of at night and when the lights are out and stuff like that. So it can get quite intense, I guess. So that happens 10 till 12. And then basically from 12 o'clock onwards, the night is yours. Some people will go and sleep in their cells, other people ghost hunt, other people wander the building. There's members of the team around, so you can chat to them. There's tea and coffee all night, so you can just drink tea and coffee and chat to the staff all night if you like, really. The night is yours, the prison's yours for the night, so you can do what you like, within reason. It's not that kind of jail, not anymore. And then I think wake up call is at 6:30, so we do wake up call at 6:30, and you can get breakfast, so bacon and sausage baps, tea and coffee and stuff like that from the restaurant from 6:30 in the morning, and then kick out is basically 8 o'clock. So that's night behind bars. Tickets will go on sale. I think they go on sale a week tomorrow. So I'll be launching more about this tomorrow and over the weekend, and then tickets go on sale week Friday because we only have 40 tickets. That's it. So 40 tickets and it's done. And during that event, Laura and I were chatting about it. We're going to do 2 lives. We're going to do our first live probably about 9:30 through to midnight. So we'll start before people go off on their tour. And then we'll do a live whilst everyone's on their tour, and I'm sure we'll see the groups coming past us as we do it, because there'll be 3 of them, 3 tour groups, and then we will do another live probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, probably around 2, I would have thought 1:32, and that will go on to maybe 4. Now I think Stacey will be around for the beginning parts, because she's working the daytime, because we also have prison break during the day. Lauren and I will be there in the first part of the evening, so we'll definitely do the live together, possibly with Stacey. She may be running one of the tours, we don't know yet. But then the 2 o'clock live, I think it's just me, because Lauren's also got to work the Sunday, so she'll have to go home and get some sleep, and it'll just be me. So I'll be trying to drag some people in, I think, as sort of guest presenters that stay. So I don't know if any of you guys will be coming to do the event. I know a few of you have been before to do some of our paranormal stuff. I know some of you guys are there during the day. I know Rachel, Teresa, Kirsty, I'm trying to think who else is on there, Keely, sorry, anybody, apologies if I missed you, and such like. Laurie, it's your wedding anniversary, you have to come and do Night Behind Bars. So yeah, that's kind of when we're definitely going to do the next one. I don't know if we'll do one between now and then. It's just time, and also the paranormals are now in as well at the weekends. So Simon's just said a 2 a.m. live, even more awesome. Yeah, it is going to be pretty cool. I will be there all night for Night Behind Bars. Yeah, I have committed myself to it. And I said, well, I'll be there all night to do the lives, to be there to chat to people. And I've got to be honest. I really enjoy doing them. I mean, they're hard going, and the next day, you really do feel it, because it's not just kind of being around. You're constantly in it and having conversations. And the trouble that I actually get in trouble when I go to work the Night Behind Bars, and Lauren told me off last time, because people lead me astray. So what happens is basically people will be like, we'll be talking about different things, and one of the officers will be there as well overnight, so we're talking about different stuff, and people say, about the Georgian tunnels, and I'm like, I might be able to sneak you down there about 2:30, 3 o'clock when everyone's asleep. We might be able to sneak you down there. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, meet me kind of here at like 3 o'clock, and we'll go down there. And before you know it, I've got 50 people trying to come down the tunnels at 3 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God. So that happens. And also I, one morning, I think it was one of the first ones we did, I snuck people onto the roof to watch the sunrise, because we've got the highest point in Shrewsbury on the prison roof. And it must have again been about, I don't know, 4:30 in the morning, something like that. And I think 10 people came up with me, and we went out the back access, and went up onto the roof and watched the sunrise come up over Shrewsbury. It was amazing. But I get in trouble for these sorts of things because I'm not supposed to do it. But because I'm there and Lauren's not, I just do it, and then I get told off afterwards. I'm just, okay. I'm in the doghouse for a couple of days, and then I'm generally okay. Only because no one's fallen off the roof or got locked in the tunnels. So that's going to be really cool. So I'm just reading a couple of comments. One from a different Kirsty, a Kirsty I actually went to school with. Oh, Kirsty, that's really cool. I'm really glad they enjoy it. That's one of my kids. Laurie, I'd love to come, but my hubby wouldn't be keen. Shelley, outdoor cinema. So Shelley, who's here, is from Wolverhampton Uni. So we're going to do some great stuff with them next week, potentially. We've got some bits happening. I need to be careful what I say now. I can never remember what's secret and what's not, and it just comes out with no filter. So we're not planning to do outdoor cinema again. Actually, we have done them in the past. If I'm brutally honest, the trouble with outdoor cinemas is they're not really that commercially viable. They're actually quite a headache to run, if I'm honest. There's always a challenge with how you do the seating, whether people can bring seats, can't bring seats. That always gives us a problem. there's quite a lot that goes into it when we do it, because we don't just show a film, we also do the immersive bit, so we'll act scenes out along at the same time, which is a really cool way of doing the experience. But that obviously takes some setup. There's a lot of fees that go into it with cinemas. You've obviously got your PPL license, your PRS licenses and stuff, but in addition to that, you've also got the film licenses for actually to the production companies for showing the film. So traditionally, cinemas and outdoor cinemas don't really make any money off the ticket sales. Everything comes off the concession stands, and I'm sure like a number of people do, like I do when I go to cinemas as well. People take their own stuff with them, and the last thing you want to be doing on outdoor cinemas is searching people's bags. The experiences are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be enjoyable. They're supposed to be experiences. If you're really like heavy-handed with searching people, no, you can't take in a bag of crisps, it just kind of ruins it. But yeah, there's not a huge commercial, I guess, benefit really, for want of a better word, in running outdoor cinemas. So we have done them, we did enjoy them. The other thing as well with outdoor cinemas is people don't tend to book tickets that quickly. They tend to wait until at least the week before, so they can see the weather forecast to make a gauge. So therefore, you're not selling traditionally in events and tourism, especially in events. And like if you take something like Halloween, we'd like to sell 75 to 80% of our tickets, now. So we know that they're sold long before the event. And therefore, because that doesn't happen with outdoor cinemas, it's quite difficult. You take a big risk. If the weather's rubbish, you're stuffed. So yeah. Might do a Christmas fair though. Might have a look at doing a Christmas fair, because we've got a lot of space. So we could do a Christmas fair and still socially distance it. I don't know if there's anywhere else in Shrewsbury that can do that. We did one a couple of years ago in the cells. It was really good atmosphere, but really hard logistically. Last year we did one, and we had the space to do it because we did it in the back of the building, but then it didn't really work that well. So it was a bit disappointing last year. I know a number of the stall holders were quite cheesed off with sort of how it came together. So we'd have to have a thing. We wouldn't do it in the cells again because it's just too tight. But we could do it in the sports hall because we've got a lot of space in there, so that could work. Most haunted are doing a sleepover the night before, aren't they, Joel? Let's have a quick look. I have no idea, Adam, are they? Let me have a quick look at my diary. Are most haunted doing a sleepover the night before? They may well be. It's possible. Let's have a quick look. Most haunted are booked in on the 18th. Oh. Can't see if it's a sleepover or not, but they're definitely booked in. Yeah, no, they're the most ones are doing a sleepover on the 18th. So they'll be there doing that as well. So yeah, and I'm sure, I imagine Carl and Stuart and stuff will be there. There will be quite a difference in the price. Let me just have a quick look. So they're very different events. Obviously, when you do a paranormal event, you're there for a paranormal investigation. When you do a night behind bars, if you want to hunt for ghosts, that's absolutely fine. You're more than welcome. But you obviously do that. We don't do that. We're there to, make sure you enjoy your night however you want to spend it. And I've done loads of these, and quite regularly people will just chat to the officers all night. They'll just chat to Graham. I've seen Graham chatting to groups of people for 3 or 4 hours, just in one go, just answering questions and just chatting about his life as a prison officer, and it's fascinating. You get so much stuff from them, and it's hugely good value. We'll just see what the most haunted prices are for a sleepover, because I have no idea what they are. Let me have a quick look. Event calendar. I'd have thought they'd be up near around 100 quid. So a quick look, but I could be wrong. Don't quite know. Friday sleepover tickets, click here. There's £75 a person. It's 7 p.m. till 8 a.m. So it's 13 hours basically. Just a quick look. I imagine Carl's there. Yeah, Carl's there, Stuart's there. So 75 quid, which is really good. Really good value to do as Most Haunted. And like I say, you get obviously the experience of doing a paranormal investigation. Our tickets are £49.50. Or you can have a £49.50 for night behind bars, or I think it's £54 with breakfast included. Or you can just buy a normal ticket and buy breakfast and buy dinner when you're there, but you can buy a ticket with breakfast included. But they're very different events. It's almost like going, here's an apple, here's a pear, which is the best fruit. Well, it's personal preference, do you know what I mean? Let's have a quick look. Somerset, I'll pick up Somerset in a sec, so I'm going to Somerset tomorrow. I feel like I'm waffling tonight all over the place. I'm not drinking enough rum. Most haunted are brilliant. Most of in fact, I think all the paranormal companies we get are fantastic. They're all slightly different in their deliveries and such like that, but they're all really good. So if you like paranormal investigations, that's something to do. Absolutely. Let's have a quick look. Haunted Happenings are brilliant as well, Adam. Yeah, we love Haunted Happenings. They do a lot of events down at Shepton, so they're our core kind of deliverer really down in Shepton. Hazel and team, again, brilliant. Drive-in cinema. Do you know what, Shelley? I'll pick up on drive-in, because there's a drive-in event in America and I think Japan happening this year for Halloween. Remind me somebody in a minute. I'll talk about Halloween in a sec. Drive-in cinema, but the tickets sold out within a few years. Yeah, but if it's the drive-in cinemas that the company were going to do throughout the country, they then shut down. They refunded everybody. They're not doing them. Or it was a mixture between drive-in cinemas and drive-in events, gigs and stuff, like gigs. But again, Beth Heath, Shropshire Festival do loads of really cool drive-in stuff at the showgrounds in Shrewsbury. So they do some really good bits as well. Oh, Shelley, did you? Yeah, you came and did it a couple of years ago in the cells with the Christmas fair. That was mad, amazing decor. It was so well decorated. We did such. I say we. Lauren's team did an amazing job decorating it. But yeah, it was just too cramped. Dish the dirt on Lauren. Sure. Don't know where to start. Okay, let me pick up on a couple of bits that I'm doing in the next week. We'll come up and see you soon. Hopefully, Joel going to be down. Right. Different people going different places. I'm going to Shepton next week, so really excited about this. I haven't been to Shepton since February, I don't think. So I'm going to Shepton Mallet. I'm going down on Monday. I'm taking my kids with me. I'm dropping them off at their grandparents'. So they're at the grandparents for 2 days, I think, 2 nights. I'm not actually 100% sure what's allowed in lockdown, but I'm pretty sure that's okay. So they're going down to my parents for a couple of nights. I'm then going straight over to Shepton, and we've got some really cool stuff happening at Shepton. We are upgrading their front of house systems to match Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury's was upgraded just coming out the back of lockdown. Shepton's about a month behind, so we're going to do that. I'm taking down the interpretation boxes. So those of you that have been in Shrewsbury and seen the interpretation boxes, press a button, hear an amazingly good soothing voice. Then we're taking those down. So those are going to be installed in Shepton as well next week. I'm obviously going to spend some time with the team, spend some time with Charlie, the site manager. I'm going to spend a fair bit of time doing social media with them and doing stuff along those lines. And basically just spending 2 days really with the team down in Shepton and do some really cool stuff down there. I'm going to do a little live. Funny enough, I'm doing a live tomorrow, but it's an announcement live because tomorrow is our 5th birthday. Very exciting. So tomorrow our business will be 5 years old. It will be 5 years since we officially opened the doors at Shrewsbury for our very first tour. So I'll do a live tomorrow at some point in the morning. Just to talk about that and again to talk about some of the things that are happening. And then yes, I will be going into Shepton next week, Monday afternoon. I'm there all day Tuesday, and I may well pop in Wednesday morning if they need me to. So if you're in and around Somerset, if you're in Shepton and you wanted to come in next week, I will be there, like I say, all day Tuesday. It's a really good day to catch me, and obviously I'd love to say hi. So yeah, that's me for next week, and I'll be back up in Shrewsbury. So we've got some really good things happening. There's some good stuff happening Thursday. There's something happening Friday, but I can't remember what it is. So yeah, it's busy. Right, anything else you guys would like to speak about? I've probably got about 10 minutes maybe, because we normally do about 45 minutes, don't we? And today I was on time. Um, any more news on the underground cells at Shepton, and will you be uncovering and opening them? Do you know what, Kirsty? I was doing the voiceovers this morning for the interpretation boxes, and one of the things I was talking about was the cells underneath the exercise yard. If I'm honest, it's a really difficult one because we've got three cells. Those of you who've been Shepton will know this, you'll have seen them. Those of you who haven't, I'll explain it. We uncovered basically a hole in the wall, about the size of a small fire, well, a medium-sized fireplace. And basically behind that, we uncovered one of the original holding cells. So it's about 5 foot by 2.5 foot, it's quite small. And next to it are another two, and they're walled with basically a small set of bars with window, I don't know, sort of so big basically, with bars going through it, and you can see through three cells. So you can get access to one of those now in Shepton, and it's amazing. And you can get access to the other two, we can, but they're not open to the public because the building you have to go through is locked off at the moment. And beyond those, you end up basically underneath what is the exercise yard, because obviously the prison was lower and has been built on top of. So that's all being filled in under the exercise yard. What we don't know, because it's not been scanned, is whether the original cell block was just had concrete piled on top of it and it was filled up, or whether basically it was just almost kind of like a sheet put over the top and kind of built on top of that. So we don't actually know. So we have to get it scanned is the reality, and find out what's still underneath, and then it would need to be dug. The challenge with that is, those of you who've been to Shepton, is digging the exercise yards almost an impossible task because it's completely enclosed by the buildings. There is no way to get a digger of any sort of description into the exercise yard shy of craning it up over the buildings. And we're talking about 4-story, 5-story high prison wings. These are massive. And they're listed, grade 2 listed, and some parts of Shepton are grade 1 star listed, the highest listing you can possibly get. So the idea of picking up a digger and craning it over grade 2 listed, grade 1 listed, and grade 1 star listed premises is proper squeaky bum time. I think it's probably the way to explain that. I would be bricking it. And the cost, oh my God, astronomical. So we would love, the reality is we'd love to do more stuff like that. We obviously don't own Shepton, and we don't own Shrewsbury yet. We don't own Shepton, so we wouldn't be allowed to do it at the moment anyhow. But it is something I would love to get the exercise yard scanned, just so we could actually build an image, almost a doll's house, a 3D image of actually what's going on underneath there anyway. So that would be quite cool. So yeah, that's I love Shepton. You're going to see that next week when I'm down there. I'm going to do a live down there from a couple of different places, and you'll see the passion I have for that place. It is a fascinating building, and there's some areas in there that I find amazing because their age, their history, and just you sit in them and you just kind of go, oh my God, you just absorb the history of what must have happened there. And I'm not even talking about the areas that prisoners went to. I'm just talking about the original areas built 400 years ago. So it's a fascinating place. And the team there are amazing as well. So should we talk about Halloween? So Shelley's mentioned Halloween. So we haven't done a Halloween event for, I think we didn't do one last year. I think we did do one the year before. Yeah, I think we did do a screen part the year before. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, what's Maurice says genius. Have a day's experience of hard labour and get people to pay us to dig it up for them. Genius, love that. All right, let me answer this. I'll come back to Halloween. Laurie, whereabouts are you geographically? Like, where is it you live? You're in Southampton. Go to Shepton, it's closer. They're both great. They're different, but you're so much closer to Shepton. Head to Shepton. But go on a guided tour, and I say this to everybody. Self-guided tours are great. Self-guided tours are great, and they're brilliant value for money. They are fantastic. but you can't be a guided tour. And Maurice is on. Maurice is a prison officer for years. I think he still is a certain prison officer for a part-time. You cannot be going round somewhere and learning about it from somebody that's done it for years. The knowledge is just unparalleled. And the team that do deliver tours that haven't been prison officers, they've got a lot of that knowledge, and they're still fantastic. So if you can, go on a guided tour. Halloween, let me get this one out. So Halloween was Gary and I were both shocked and amazed, and I think also laughing at the idea of a Halloween drive-through, because if you've not done a Halloween event before, a scare event, traditionally, and there's varying ways that they happen, but traditionally what happens is you walk through something, a maze, a room, a scene, and people jump out and they scare the shit out of you. That's basically what it is. Traditionally, it's zombies, clowns, anything that's kind of scary. And we do all these sorts of things. So that's normally what happens at Halloween. Obviously, because of COVID, social distancing's a massive issue, because normally in Halloween events, you've got people right up in your face, they're jumping up, sometimes they're touching you, it's close contact. And people are screaming, it's, oh my God. So, it's just the idea of I guess spit and stuff like that. It's just not possible in COVID. So somebody came up with a genius idea, I think it was in Japan, of doing a drive-through zombie event. And Gary and I looked at each other and were like, how is this going to work? Because you're going to kind of drive up in your car, and then zombies are going to start jumping out at you. You're going to crap yourself, and you're going to hit the accelerator, and you're going to run these bloody people over. And these are actors; they're obviously not real zombies. So that was kind of the first issue. Then we thought, because actors get really overzealous, I don't think any of our actors are on here tonight, but actors get really overzealous, really into it when they're zombies, really part of their character. They're going to be jumping on cars and climbing all over them. You're going to get blood all over them from the makeup. You're going to get dents all over them. You're going to get insurance claims left, right, and centre. So that was the next aspect. And then we found out from the company that were doing it, the way they were going to run it was, you basically drive up to an area, like to a car wash, like you would to a car wash. You stop, you turn off the ignition, you take the keys out of the ignition, you put them on the table outside the car, you do up your windows, and then your experience begins. And there's a little experience going around your car, and that finishes, you can take your window down, you take your keys out, you start your ignition, and you drive to the next point, and so on and so forth. And we just thought, oh my God, that's even worse than just running the bloody actors over, because it's going to be so non-immersive, which is what we love to do, because you're constantly having to just stop. It's going to be so weird. And funny enough, that got Gary and I talking, and because we don't talk other than this, they got Gary and I talking about other ways. It just came because we weren't planning on doing Halloween this year. There was no plans for us to do anything particularly for Halloween this year. And we just got chatting about different ways that you could do Halloween that would be COVID safe. And off the back of it, we were coming up with some brilliant ideas and ways it could be done. And we went, do you know what? We should bloody do that. We could totally do that. We've got the space, we've got the actors, we've got the tech equipment, we've got all the know-how, the knowledge, we've got the brands, we've got the reputation for it. We're an award-winning event company. It's in my office, the award. But we're an award-winning event company, so we know exactly how to do it. And we can do it COVID safe. And we're like, shit, should we run something for Halloween? So, yeah, I don't want to jump the gun because I get in trouble for that. So I don't want to jump the gun. But I think there may well be a potential, if we can pull the actors together and if we can time it right, because we've got a lot of paranormals in around that time as well. It might be a Thursday, a Wednesday or a Thursday, something like that. I reckon we might end up with a Halloween event this year in Shrewsbury at least. So that's exciting. Simon's just mentioned about Christmas. Christmas event is written, is done. I wrote it a couple of years ago with one of the actors. We're going to do Christmas this year. Christmas is a murder mystery. So the basic emphasis is that a prisoner is being killed. So a prisoner has been murdered, and you are coming into the prison as part of the external team to investigate the murder, and you have to figure out who did the murder. done in a traditional murder mystery way. So you come in, you'll investigate the crime scene, you'll speak to the suspects, you'll meet the governor, and then you will basically go into the restaurant, you'll have your dinner, and in a traditional standard murder mystery way, you'll be able to ask questions of people and start making your guesses, and then over dessert you'll make your guesses, and then obviously the head of the force, the head of the police force, they're there with you, will then be able to reveal who done it. So that's going to be really cool. So yeah, we're really excited about that one. So that's going to happen at Christmas. It's one that people can book privately. It'll be one for corporate companies, groups and stuff like that. So that's definitely going to be happening for Christmas this year. So yeah, that's going to be a really good one. That will definitely happen at Shrewsbury. I'm not sure if it'll happen at Shepton. It's a bit easier for us to do things at Shrewsbury for a couple of reasons. One is it's more established. It's been running for 2 years longer. It's got its own restaurant, so therefore things like the food and the catering is just easier to do because we've got it all in-house. It's already set up. It is in a slightly better condition, so therefore it's more comfortable for these things, and the heating and stuff like that Shrewsbury has. But also it has got the main cohort of our event team from our event company are based at Shrewsbury. That's where their offices are, so it just kind of does work. So yeah. Yes, Shelley, we are licensed to sell alcohol, so the site's fully licensed at Shrewsbury, and Shepton, I believe, is just about to go through its license, which we don't see any issues with. So yeah, both sites are fully licensed. There's no issues with entertainment, alcohol, anything along those lines. And you've just said about murder mystery Xmas parties where companies book tables and a disco at the end. Yeah, that's exactly it. We probably won't do the disco because, again, social distancing, that's going to be odd. Although I did threaten one of my team, and it was a threat. You know how I talk about my employees and how I treat my employees and stuff. I threatened one of my employees this week. I know, shock horror. Basically, she was concerned because she's over 50 that if the government step in and they make this crazy, ludicrous, and it is mad, if you're over 50, you will have to self-isolate, which is mental, absolutely crazy. Because I know people well above their 50s, 60s and 70s, even some people. I know a guy who's 91 that is healthier than people I know in their 20s. So anyway, so she was really worried about this, and she was saying that. I said, look, worst case scenario, we will sort it out. And I wasn't sure how. And I said, look, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get you one of those geospheres. I'm going to get you one of those bubbles. I'm going to put you in this bubble, and we're just going to push you around, and that's it. And I went, and that's a threat. It's not even a promise, it's a threat. If the government do this, we're sticking you in a bubble so you can still come to work, and we'll just wheel you around, we'll just push you around basically everyone in the jail. So we could do that, maybe at a disco. That'd be quite cool. Everyone goes in their bubble. So it'd be like a big bubble disco, I guess. I don't know. Too much rum. You didn't see how much I put in this second one. Okay, cool, right. What about a team trying to find an escaped prisoner? We did that, Donna. We did a team trying to find an escaped prisoner. Do you know what? It gets out of hand. People get so engaged and so immersive, and I like to think it's because we're so good at bringing you into the environment. Then what happened was we had prisoners running off, basically, and you used to have to do them. We used to call it catch the con. And basically you might see a glimpse of a prisoner 50 feet away or something like that, got a good distance away, and they would just disappear into a building. You'd see somebody in an orange jumpsuit disappear into a building. And then the idea was that you would then have to kind of solve clues and kind of investigate, and you'd have to kind of try and pincer movement with the rest of the people in your team out the bloody window. As soon as people saw the con, that was it. They would just leg it. They would just run after the person. And it was just chaos, and nobody ever kind of really found them because it was just chaos of running after people. So yeah, it didn't really work that well, but we'll see. But yeah, do you know what? That's it. 50 minutes in, a long one this evening. Just been chatting. But yeah, so I'm going to do a live tomorrow. I think I'm probably going to do it around 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is quite a nice time still. That's celebrating our 5th year. It can be a weird one as well because this year I'm doing the celebrations by myself. I think last year, I'm trying to remember how we did it last year. I think there was a few of us in last year. The year before that, it was me, Chrissy, Emma, Graham, Keith. We had a cake. We did it in the governor's office. We drank some champagne and stuff like that. The year before that, God, I can't remember what we did, but we've always done something every year, and there's always been a few of us, and this year it's just me, because nobody's at work tomorrow. None of the, I mean, Chrissy's still on furlough and then is leaving us. Lisa's working from home tomorrow. Harriet's off tomorrow. Paige is off this week because it's her birthday. Who else is there? Emma's busy tomorrow. Lauren's on a day off tomorrow. Stacey's on a day off tomorrow. I don't know which tour guide's on, but they'll be doing the tours. Let me just see which tour guide's on tomorrow. Do you know what? Graham's on tomorrow, so I might do the live, maybe or I might try and. I will actually try and do it, and I'll grab Graham. So I'll either do it at 10:30 when he comes in, or I'll do it at 11, 12, 1, or I'll do it at like 1:30 when he finishes his tour. So I'll have a think about it. I think I'll probably do it in the morning at 10:30. I think I'll just grab him. Come on, Graham, let's go. So yeah, I'll do that. Right, if there's no other questions, I will be leaving you for the evening. We'll obviously do Join Joel next week. Hoping that next week, maybe the week after, I will have some more news about the prison, about Shrewsbury specifically, about progressing with the purchase. I know it's dragging. I get that. Trust me, I feel it more than anyone. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Guided tours are 2 hours, Laurie, so just answer that question there. Cool, right guys, do you know what, I'm going to let you get on. Thank you very much once again for jumping on to join Joel. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's 51 minutes now, so far too long. We'll be back next Thursday, obviously I'll be back next Thursday. I'll do some stuff obviously over the next few days, and yeah, any questions, ping them over. If you're at the jails at any point, give us a shout. I love coming down and speaking to people. And just basically chewing the fat around jails, or anything else. I'm happy to talk. Well, jails, business, social media. That's kind of my thing. Outside of that now. So yeah, anyway. Right, I'm off. So thank you very much, guys, and I will see you and speak to you next week.